Hey, Songtown, I'm here with Marty, Dodson. Over the last couple of years, we've listened to over 2,000 songs from viewers and Songtown members. These are the 4 most common mistakes we found. You want to kick it off, Marty?
I will. I think one of the things that I've been really working on teaching a lot lately when I mentor or teach classes in Songtown is really being clear on what your character wants. So if your character in your song is a man who broke this woman's heart and he's trying to get her back, but he's saying things in his song like, you're partly to blame, he's probably not going to get her back.
Right.
And so a lot of times if you're not clear on what your singer wants in the song, then you're going to go down rabbit trails that you don't want to go down, and you're going to say things that contradict what is really the point of your song and all that, So you want to be sure that guy is saying everything he's saying in a tone and with words that would get the woman back, not would put blame on her or make her more ticked off at him.
Yeah, because if you're pointing the finger at someone, they're not going to be very receptive to what you're saying.
Yeah.
So that was the first thing that you found most common?
That's a big one.
Yeah.
Something I see a lot. What about you?
I think just from a melody standpoint, since you brought up lyrics, one thing I see over and over, and if you're a Songtown member, you've probably heard me mention this, I see a lot of people starting practically every line of their song on the same beat. For instance, if just making up something here. So if I'm going to start before the downbeat, my guitar's the downbeat. So you don't need no makeup. So I'm starting 1, 2, I'm starting on beat 3.
Mm-hmm.
And if I do that every line, and hey, you know what you can do? I've got kind of an idea for a verse. Maybe you can come up with the first line of the chorus.
Ooh, I'm on the spot.
Putting him on the spot. This is how we co-write.
He has not played me this either. I don't know what he's going to do.
You don't need no makeup. Crazy how you wake up. Smiling that perfect smile. Looking like you do now. Chorus.
Baby, you're natural.
Yeah, so see what you did? You started on beat 3, the same exact beat as every line of the verse.
Oh, no.
So what was the line again?
What should I have done?
What was the line again?
Baby, you're a natural.
So if I'm starting the verse, if I'm starting the verse on beat 3, let's come in after the downbeat.
That's just crazy.
For the chorus.
All right.
So, babe, you don't need no makeup. Crazy how you wake up. Smiling that perfect smile. Looking like you do now. Baby, you're a natural. Baby, you're one. So then we have some variety.
Maybe that's why most of my melodies sound the same, because I'm coming in at the same place on everything.
Yeah, or you could come in, say your verse could come in after the downbeat. Because what happens is, if you come in before the downbeat, you create a sense of urgency. So often I find when I'm writing melodies for verses, I'll come in after the downbeat in the verse, then I'll come in ahead of the downbeat in the chorus, and I've created some urgency. Like, let's try that, for instance. 1, 2, 3, 4. You don't need no makeup. 1, crazy how you wake up. Smiling that perfect smile. Looking like you do now. Baby, you're natural. So when I hit that chorus, I'm coming in ahead of the downbeat. The verse was all behind the downbeat. So it gives a little urgency to the chorus.
Right.
And so my point is, I hear so many songs time after time where every line of the verse and every line of the chorus comes in on the same beat. So what I purposely try to do when I'm writing, if I write a verse and a chorus, I'm not thinking about this consciously, But after I finish my verse and chorus, I go back and look. And I'll go, oh, I'm starting both of these sections on the downbeat. I need to vary one of those sections. And I'll just tweak it, you know? And I think if we can get in the habit of developing these checklists, and then it's not something that you have to put the song aside. I do this while I'm writing. I write a verse and chorus, and then I look at it and go, here's my checklist. 8 little things, you know, that I know could cause a problem. And when you follow just this basic one little checklist thing, you will keep the listener's attention greater than starting every line of the song on the same downbeat.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's what I was trying to do. I was trying to give your chorus some urgency. But
the verse already had it.
You'd already blown it with your verse.
So it's my fault.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. Exactly. You know, another one I think of is a lot of times I'll see a song that is just not universal enough for somebody to want to sing it or for many people to want to hear it. So just as a random example, if I write a song about flying a drone, my drone's in the air.
Oh my gosh.
It flies everywhere. See, things like that. Other drone flyers might like that song, but the vast majority of people have not ever flown a drone. And so they're not going to relate to that song.
Right.
It's just not a topic that enough people care about.
And if you got real specific, like, my purple drone is missing a screw.
That's right. I flew it into a tree.
I flew it into a tree that was green and blue.
Exactly. Yeah. So, you know, I'll hear songs, and a lot of times I'll ask the writer, well, who do you think would want to sing this, and who do you think would be interested in this? And they're like, oh, well, you know, I love to knit. I thought everybody did, you know.
Yeah.
And so you just have to be careful that when you're writing, whether you're going to be the singer and you're going to play it at a coffee shop or you're going to pitch it to other people, if it's going to be played for other people, it needs to be universal where they connect with you, you know, and so enough people care about what you're saying.
It's kind of like you have to find that human story that everyone can relate to. It's kind of like when before a football game, they could sit there and talk about all the stats of all the players. And there might be some nerds that are really into that. But no, they don't do that. They find the human interest story. These two coaches used to be on the same team in college, and now they're against each other. Mm-hmm. And, you know, it's like, these two brothers are now coaching against each other. And so they always try to find that human story. And I think that's what we do as songwriters. It's not about being interesting. It's not about, all that's important, details and being interesting, but the bottom line is you have to tell a story. Without the story, it doesn't matter how interesting you are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, this morning, we have a Wednesday morning SongTown +1 Zoom that we do where people come on and we talk about something. And we were looking at love songs, how to make them feel authentic and all that. And we listened to some, and we were breaking down, like, okay, what does the singer want in this song? How's that different from what the singer wants in this song? What are they touching on? You know, like, what are they trying to address in the relationship? And really, all that was that human interest. Okay, so what's the point that's going to make everyone care about this song? Like, oh, well, everybody's had their heart broken. So everybody's had their heart broken will relate to this song, you know? And so you have to find that little nugget that is that human interest piece so people care about it.
Yeah, I can't tell you how many writing sessions I've been on, and we'll stop in the middle and go, is anybody going to care about this? Mm-hmm. You know, because you need to do that checkup while you're writing the song, because if the answer is no, or only a few people are going to care about it, you know, I'm not saying don't write the song, but just know that the chances of that song touching a lot of people is very slim.
Yeah, and this morning I wrote a song with a female artist and a track guy, and the idea that she wanted to write was about women feeling powerful. So we wrote one called The Power, like, you've got the power. And I said, okay, I've got 2 adult daughters. I want to write this like so I can send it to them and say, this is how I feel about you. I believe in you. You've got the power. And so we knew precisely how we were going to write it, who we were writing it for, and all that kind of thing. So we wrote it where any woman hearing the song would go, okay, I feel a little bit empowered after listening to the song. You know?
You've got the power.
There you go.
I like it. My next example would be that we live in a world right now in a time of analytics, you know, and I've seen this in songwriting courses. I get emails from this one company all the time, and they're, you know, they deconstruct all these hit songs, and they all have tambourines in the chorus, and 99% do finger snaps in the first verse. Well, first of all, that's production. That's not actually part of the songwriting. That's, to me, those are 2 separate things. But I think I see this a lot in SongTown members, and I suffered from this when I first started, that you're trying to learn the craft, you're trying to fit in, and you try so hard to sound like everything else that's out there that you're not developing your own voice. And I think it's necessary. You know, I've heard people go, well, I tried to write for years and tried to write a hit, and then when I let that go and just wrote one that I felt, it became a monster hit. And I think the reason is people take away from that story and they go, well, see, he says you shouldn't try to write a hit. You should just write what you feel. But I think it requires both.
Yeah.
You have to learn the craft. You have to learn the format you're writing in. He realized he learned the language of his format. In this instance, it was country. So he learned to speak the language of country radio. Then he took it a step beyond and put his own voice and his own heart into it. So I think both of those steps are necessary. And I think a lot of times we see either extreme. We hear somebody, well, I'm an artist, and their songs are so out there that nobody's ever going to relate to it.
Right.
And then we see the other example of, well, the last 20 hits sounded like this, and yeah, you sound like that, but Ashley Gorley's already writing, you know, Ryan Tedder's already writing that, so why do they need you? They'll just call those guys for that thing, you know? So I think learning to develop your own voice within your format is very important, and it can take time to do that.
Yeah, and I think, too, you know, your voice is the thing you have that Ryan Tedder doesn't have, and that Ashley
And we're not
Gorley,
talking singing voice. We're talking about your writing voice.
what you have to say.
Yeah.
And that's people's secret weapon, I think, you know. So anytime I see a writer trying to emulate another writer or chase something that's out there, I'm like, well, let's find where the market intersects with what you do, not where the market intersects with what Ryan Tedder does.
Yeah.
You know, that kind of thing.
So that's one thing Carlos Santana said. People would call him to play on all kinds of records, different styles of music, different genres. And his response to how he was able to do that was, I walk in and figure out, how can I be Carlos on this song? You know, he's not trying to go, how can I sound like this song? He's like, how can I fit what I do and put that into this song and make it make sense? I think that's the difference.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's the secret to success as a writer, is that, you know, find what it is you have to say that's unique and different, and then find where that intersects with the market, and then you're going to have something that's universal. And, you know, we can often take our personal stories and turn them into universal songs. I've talked about that a lot, but, you know, I can take a story about my grandparents that's really sad, and I can turn it into a song about losing someone I loved, but not talking so specifically about my grandfather dying early, you know, that kind of thing. So I think that's a big one.
Yeah. And it's very important. I asked a couple of publishers that signed me to writing deals early in my career, like, why did you sign me? I wasn't a great writer at that time. And they both said you had a unique voice, and they saw the potential. You can't take just common right down the middle songwriting and make that work on a big scale. But if you have a unique voice and you learn how to fit that into the format, then that'll work, you know. And so even if you're not a great songwriter craft-wise as some of your heroes yet, I think, you know, if you have your own unique voice and you stick to that and you write from that perspective, then you're going to be okay if you keep at it.
Yeah, absolutely.
What's your last one you got?
That was my last one.
I need another one, man.
I've already shared 2. You said we're sharing 4. You know, I think another thing was going to say that I see a lot is people changing the voice in the song. So, like in the first verse, they're singing to the person, and then all of a sudden they say, "She's so beautiful," and the listeners go, "Wait, who? You were saying you?" And then
so are you telling your girl that this other girl over here is beautiful
right.
now?
You know, so that pronoun thing can really be tricky if you're not careful.
Here we're going with pronouns.
Totally different conversation.
Yeah, and I think there's just a quick fix for that. When you're writing a song, instead of just writing what's coming to your head, at the same time, ask yourself, who are you singing to? Mm-hmm. So if you visualize, if you're singing to your girlfriend, okay, every line should be a line that you're saying to your girlfriend. And I think if you stick to that, I think then you don't get so confused, and because you're not going to tell your girlfriend she's beautiful.
Right.
So and it's a quick fix.
Exactly. And that's just what, like I was talking about this morning, writing a song for my daughters. I had it in my mind who we're talking to. You know, I can picture them. I know what I want to say to them. So we wrote that song really quickly and concisely because we knew exactly who we were talking to and what we wanted to say.
Yeah. Awesome. Hey, guys, it's been great. Hit us up with comments, likes, subscribe, do all that for us. If you like the material, we'll keep coming at you with more each week. We want to thank our sponsors, Sweetwater Music, for giving us great deals on all our gear in my studio. Marty gets his gear from there. But beyond just great prices, they have excellent customer service.
Amazing customer service. Yeah. And let's talk about our favorite kind of reviews. 5-star reviews are the ones that we like the most. So, no, seriously,
Michelin reviews.
If you enjoy the show, it really helps us to get more views if you like it, and leave a comment. So we love to see what your comments are or questions, and a lot of times that gives us ideas for the next show.
Okay. Cheers, y'all.
Take care.